Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Kristina Moyer and I'm a two-dimensional artist. This is Charlie. Charlie, this video is not about you. What you doing? In today's video, we're going to take a sneak peek at my latest Skillshare class, which is up and running. It's available on the platform. If you're new to Skillshare, I have a referral link in the description where you can get 2 weeks for free. Oh my goodness, isn't that exciting, Bob? Oh, thank you for the kisses. Oh, so many. Okay, watch it, mister. I'm your mama. Anyways, if you haven't checked out my channel before, it's all about two-dimensional art, so painting, drawing, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to do product testing. He might make an appearance here and there, depending on how he's feeling, what's happening. And you have your own stuff. You have your own Instagram, Bubby. You don't need to take mine, too. Oh. Okay, you can join it. But you have to do art. You're going to learn some watercolors. So it's an intro watercolor lesson. If you want to learn some watercolors as well, I have 2 drawing classes on there that are accessible. With the 2 free weeks in my referral code, you can also access any other videos that are on Skillshare. So not just my class, but also many other classes, unlike some other platforms. And I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below. Charlie. Alright, now that we've worked on our washes, and feel free to practice as much as you'd like, now we're going to talk about lifting. So let's actually look at this little bit here that I've got on there and I don't like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a damp brush, you don't want it dripping, and I'm going to dab on there. And with some toilet paper, I'm going to dab on that area and it's going to lift the paint. And if I'm lucky, I can actually go in with more water, carefully, try not to go into other areas, and find a clean part of your tissue or paper towel or cloth and dab that area up. Now we have a cloud in our sky. And then you add and lift, and this is just different practices. So let's try this one's a little bit more dry, still a little damp, but let's just see if we can lift. Get some clean water. And then I'm going to want to make sure that I dab up that water so it doesn't start affecting the other colors in the area. So yep, I was able to. Now I'm starting to get that overworked pilling happening. So you got to be careful when you're doing a wash. If you're brushing back and forth too often, depending on the quality of your paper, you can get pilling. So that's something you want to be aware of, getting a little bit of that happening here. Let's practice if we're actually starting a new piece and we're lifting. So, and you can use something else. I've got this a disposable cloth. And let's try a different color just to jazz it up a little bit. So I'm going to grab my tapered brush, get it wet. Let's go into some red and purple. I know I put a little bit of purple there. Oh, I flicked. Careful not to flick. Flicked some paint on there. In fact, because I did that, let's just see if I can remove it. Yep. If you act quickly in certain areas, you can remove. Now, the challenge is if you have a flat wash and you have a fleck of paint, it's almost better to just leave it than trying to remove it. That's my personal opinion. Others might say differently. So if it's in an area where there's nothing else that you're worried about, or you're going to be doing something over top anyways, then that's fine. So let's just paint on. Love that. I did a little flick at the end. Let's just, maybe it's a hill. Okay. Wash my brush. And I'm gonna, it doesn't have to be very wet. So if I want to add some texture somewhere, or, you know, pull in some, I'm going to be putting some green trees or something. See how it's quite wet and then it pulls down, so I need to keep dabbing. And it's going to still be dispersing because it's still wet in those areas. If you really want it to dry, so you can lift with your brush like I'm doing here, or you can also lift with your towel or sponge or whatever you have using, and that's going to pick up that paint and the water and give you a stronger pull than the brush does, right? So with my brush, because the areas were still wet, it kind of gave it more of a faded appearance. Depends on the look you're going for. I just dab the whole thing, see how much it pulled. So that's lifting, and it can be a great way to get the white of the background to show in the back so that you have that highlighting versus adding white on top after, which isn't really what we do with watercolor, though you can do that if you're kind of more mixed media.